Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
I'm still talking. I got a lot to say. Now you listen to me, mister. I got stuff to say today. To you.
Done. To and with me. All of the time. Keep going. Father, please. Yes. I enjoy this much. For the first time, I'm gonna say please like and subscribe. I've never said that before, but I'm a douche now. Woo! Welcome. And today, we're speaking about the new 2023 release, Talk to Me.
Swear to me!
Josh, talk to me.
Yeah, so I think I liked this movie a little more than you guys did. Just right out the gate, I'll say that. I thought it was really interesting that this was directed by a couple of YouTubers. It was their first feature film. And I thought, and this was kind of funny going off of like one of the last films we did, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Mm-hmm. It was a similar film about youth culture, but I thought that this did that kind of youth culture way better. I don't know, it resonated with me way more.
Well, this was supposed to be not as like
Right.
kind of poking fun at them. It was supposed to be more.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a more serious film.
but also it had a satirical look in the sense that, at least for me, when I saw these kids looking at their phones, they're all tuned out, and then the only thing that actually brings them together as a group and gets them any kind of emotion is this like otherworldly device that actively is terrible for them, but
Drugs.
it pulls them away from their...
Definitely an allegory for
Yeah,
drugs.
it's kind of an allegory for drugs, sure.
In the beginning.
Yes, certainly in the beginning.
But
more
I
so.
thought that was done really well.
I do too.
Yeah, it was the only thing to get us off our phones back in the day. All come together, shoot a little dope.
Do you want to go? This is who acted in it? Have a list.
Sophie Wilde.
Up and coming Australian star Sophie Wilde.
Yeah.
All Australian cast.
No names, really. No big names in this one. Totally Australian unknowns. I mean, maybe they did little gigs out in...
Zoe.
Yeah, one of them was in
Aussie
this tiny film called, what was it? Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. One of them was in this tiny film called Lord of the
Mom.
Rings.
Oh, you mean the one that I kept saying was in Lord of the Rings? And
You've
kept
said
saying,
that before.
I have never said that before.
There was one.
There was one other
seasoned
film.
actress in this film.
Yeah.
Other
she
than
was,
that, it was
she was
wrong.
great.
Is she Australian originally?
I thought she was from New Zealand.
Same thing.
I wouldn't say that to an Aussie. Yeah, she was great. I thought, as far as child actors go, the kid was really good.
Yeah,
How
he was.
old is Joe Bird, who played Riley the kid?
I would say young teens, judging.
I would say 17.
That's a child actor to you?
I mean,
He looked younger than that.
it's
but
underage.
It's the movie, so he could have been. I did just see a picture of him now, and he looks a lot older.
He was born in 2007. Joe Bird was born in 2007. He's a 15-year-old actor.
That's impressive.
That is
Yeah,
impressive.
and he was, I would say, one of the highlights of the film.
Yeah, certainly.
For sure. And that's funny because he wasn't in the second half.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as being like playing someone who's not themselves and completely psychotic, he did a great job.
Yes, for sure. Sure.
Specifically, the eyeball ripping scene.
Yeah.
You know, for a scene where someone doesn't actually get the eyeball out, I thought that was pretty good.
I like that was.
How do we know he didn't get the eyeball out?
You were saying you wanted more gore
sucks back
after
in.
we walked out of the theater, and I was like, we watched a child pull his eyeball out. And
Yeah, not all the way though. It goes back in. Yeah.
I guess spoilers as well, but all of our shows
It's
contain
always spoilers. There's no point in even saying it anymore.
So this is the tale of some young people, particularly Mia, who's recently lost her mother.
She's dealing with a lot of grief.
And so she's basically moved out of her house and into her friend's house as their nanny-ish type, a housekeeper. She's kind of like just escaping into this role, and they agreed to let her do that. But they're bored, and everyone seems unhappy. All the children, they're young people.
Yeah.
And they
That'll happen.
end up getting involved with a strange crowd because they keep seeing on social media these videos of kids playing this game-ish thing.
Okay, so it's not from social media. Because they know the
Specifically
people.
TikTok.
They're sending it to
They
them.
know the people in person who have the
I
hand.
thought it was someone's
But I
Snapchat
thought
story.
But they were putting them all on the internet.
Yeah,
That's why they're
Yeah,
filming it.
they were. But I'm saying that.
So they'd seen the videos.
Yes, but I'm saying that Mia knew them personally. And
They didn't like them though.
Yeah, weren't they like, why'd you bring her here?
When they first got to that party, they all got grilled heavily.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that it wasn't like something they saw online and then went to go try.
right.
Like,
It
they
was
were all
local
from the
people.
same
Yeah.
school.
the hand was locally sourced.
It's very important to your enchanted horror hands. But another thing I thought was cool was the little bit.
Make a soundbite of that and just torture him with it, please, Garrett.
There's a little bit of background involving the hand.
So I thought it was made of plaster or something.
Yeah,
But apparently it was embalmed.
Yeah, that was really cool. That they dropped this little little lore tidbit about the hand, that it was an actual human hand cast in plaster, and it wasn't like later in the movie they break it, you see an actual hand. It was just like kind of this lore drop that I thought that was
No, the
clever.
hand was quite resilient.
Yeah, it didn't break easily.
Was it?
It never broke. It got knocked around quite a bit.
I guess.
And also, how many groups of teenagers has it passed along to?
It's true.
Oddly enough, never like a government or anything.
That was my favorite part of the movie, though, was the ritual and the lore around it. And
yeah.
that I think was
For sure, the
super cool idea.
The concept and idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Whoever came up with that, which one of you Rocka brothers?
It wasn't one of them.
I doubt it.
No, I know it wasn't because
Okay. They just directed.
the credits listed the story ideas.
Okay. Yeah, that was truly cool. Only thing I would have wanted to see more of, and this isn't really a critique, it's just me personally, there's like more of the ghosts they interact with, or spirits, whatever you want to call them. Because they were really cool. You only got to see like 2 of them, right? 3 of them.
2, 3, yeah.
Just pause for 1 second. Garrett, get off the fucking wide!
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
That's all we can see.
Oh!
Yeah, I don't. That one. Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. I thought you were just riding the wide the entire episode.
Ride the wide, Garrett. Ride the wide.
That was
Keep up
me.
your
I'll
good
take
work.
that
It
back.
won't be the only thing you get to ride.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen,
How's your mother?
we got him.
So yeah. What were you saying, Jack?
Really liked the ghost ritual. I liked that. If you guys missed this, well, I guess I should explain to the audience. I guess. After Mia plays the game, she gets a little too far. She gets real creepy about it. Everyone's really like, we know how dangerous this is. She's like, I like touching demons.
What do you mean by that?
And so eventually
Give me
she
your hand.
she spends too long with one of them in her, and it starts with like does stuff to your psyche. So she starts seeing who she.
That was on her first try, wasn't it?
Yeah, her second.
Oh, they kind of hint at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like 84
actually.
seconds, then it takes like another 15 seconds to get it off of her.
Yeah, and she ended
Yeah,
up.
and
And
they
then
go-
she starts seeing her mom as one of these spirits when she's not
Wow.
in the ritual anymore.
First she starts seeing
But-
stuff, but it's not her mom until she lets Riley do it.
Right.
Oh, speaking of
But
which, do you
then-
guys remember that scene right after she does it the first time, and Riley sleeps in the bed with her, and there's like this 2-second scene of her like creepy hand over him?
I thought she was gonna molest him.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
I
I thought they were gonna have consensual
creepy.
intercourse.
I thought it was
I didn't
leaning
see the
towards a
hand.
You didn't see the creepy hand, the ghost
It got
thing?
weird. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't.
I
take
thought
note
it
of
was
if
her
I
at
did.
first, and I was like, "What is this movie doing?"
Yeah. Okay, well, we all experienced that very differently. Jason didn't
I
experience
didn't
it at all.
experience it. Perfect.
Yeah, there's like a scene where she's like tucking him in real briefly, and then it's like a creepy hand, and she's like it just does something really off-putting and gross. I immediately went, oh, she's getting possessed. Jack went, she's getting something else.
They just had an odd relationship, okay?
Yeah, it's fair.
It's
they
hinted
did.
at multiple times. It's not
Yeah.
just me.
No, yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm. Not that, but
Well, I thought that scene was cool, and there was a lot of that, like little hints to like cool, creepy factors before
Yes.
the shit actually
Yes.
gets wacky.
One
Yes,
thing this movie did really well was not beat you over the head and
Yes.
over-explain.
which I think is part of why I really enjoyed the first half, because it's just extra creepy. You don't know all the rules. It's not all laid out, and I think that was done very well.
And I like how they do explain things, but if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't catch it. Like at one point, I think either when they're first trying to track down the origin of the hand, when they link back up with the two kids who had it, one of them you can hear like offhandedly go, "Didn't they say the spirits could mimic people?"
Yeah.
And like they just say it once and they never bring it back up, and that's why one of the ghosts found out that obviously Mia was vulnerable if it expressed that it was her mother to her.
Right.
Which I like that they didn't be like, it was just one line in one part where they mentioned it, and
they didn't
wasn't.
beat it into the ground. I think, yeah, there was a lot of subtlety with this movie that I liked, and I will reiterate because I made the point when we walked out of the theater, and I'll reiterate again. I know that this movie had a small budget. I believe it was around $1 million.
It's 4.5.
$4.5 million. Okay, so for an independent feature, that's a relatively decent budget.
Was that its original budget, or is that including like marketing and things like that?
No, that's just budget.
No, the
They don't
budget doesn't
include-
normally include marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for that kind of budget, they could have gotten some seriously kick-ass practical effects. And that was my one big thing with this movie, is that I felt like the only thing it was really missing was some seriously disgusting ghost makeup, some practical stuff. Like, let, your effects artists go nuts. Like,
Especially the way they wrote it, as in there's each time they say talk to me, it's a
yes,
different ghost. They could have
exactly.
I did think
really-
we'd see more of them. Yeah.
could have really
the
shown some
first
cool
ghost
stuff.
we see is just an old man. Like,
Yeah.
Creepy.
One
that
of them's
stuff
all
doesn't creep me out, man.
one of them's all melty or whatever.
Yeah, and then
happened
the
to
one
him.
she lets in's all melty.
Yeah, but like, think about it. If they had gone full tilt with that, and they had made her like she died in the bathtub and no one found her for 2 weeks, so she's like literally like,
Right, that'd be really
you know what I'm
cool.
saying? Like
Yeah.
that could have been awesome.
Or like somebody mauled by an animal or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking like American Werewolf in London. Do you guys ever see that?
I
I
never
thought it
actually
was
saw
funny
it.
how long it took you to get to London. Like, where's it gonna be? Edinburgh?
Well, no, because the sequel is called American Werewolf in Paris, and I was trying to remember which one was which.
I have not seen it.
American Werewolf in London is a classic film, and some of the best practical effects, like, out of any movie ever. But also, just amazing practical effects for werewolf stuff. And one of the things is that throughout the entire course of the movie, the main character keeps seeing his dead friend who got killed by the werewolf. So the thing is, you're haunted by, the past victims. And his friend gets progressively more gross as the film goes on. Like, he starts falling apart, and the practical effects are freaking awesome.
So would you say you had a problem with the effects that were in the film, or you just wish there were more?
I wish that they had gone full tilt with the practical effects. The only issues that I had were when they tried to do like old people makeup. Like the last corpse that she sees is very clearly old person makeup, and I just, for the last corpse in your movie, that was
Hey, what's
not
creepier
great.
than old people?
Real old people.
The one that is in the wheelchair at the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so clearly like fake old person makeup, and it was just like, just use an old person, you know?
Old people aren't that creepy in real life.
Was that supposed to be a depiction of like the demon that was specifically haunting her? Or are they just
hunting
random?
Riley.
Or hunting. Oh, true. Yeah.
I thought, in
Not
my
that it
opinion,
matters that much, but
the first ghost that possesses her, the creepy obese woman with green skin,
Yeah.
I thought that was the one who continued like messing with her
Me
through the whole
too.
movie,
Yeah.
pretending to be her mother, because it kind of sounded like her, and that it was just, you know, screwing with her brain. And I like that they never clarify one way or the other,
yeah.
but that it's hinted at that that's one ghost never left her, you know?
Right. But would it have been a different ghost that was possessing Riley then? Or could it? I don't know. I guess it's up for the audience to.
Well, because they kind of say
Oh, yeah, I
near,
believe
the,
so.
near the end that all the ghosts exist in this weird twilight realm
Limbo?
between realms. Yeah. Spoilers, because that's where she ends up at the end.
I really liked the ending.
You did like the ending.
Yeah.
So let's go there. Yeah. How did you guys feel about the ending?
I like that it's dark and
Literally, and like she's in the dark.
Near the
that
sunken place.
it tricks you a little bit right before it explains what happens when she falls into the road and you.
Were you as confused as me though about that?
At first,
Yeah, at first.
Because it looked like she let him go into the road,
Yeah.
but then they're like, no, she jumped.
yeah.
What?
I didn't know if
There's-
she.
I feel like that could have been done a little better.
In the scene of the from in the car that's driving, you could see like some object fly in from the left, and it looked like the wheel of the wheelchair or something, or the back of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a human's body. But, and then she's all mangled.
They don't show her mangled.
They show her lying in the middle of the road.
And her
Yeah, but
fingers
she's
all
not-
broken back.
Oh.
After
okay.
she gets
Hey, her
up.
fingers are a little funny, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was gonna have her kill Riley and then end with her in like a psych ward or something. But I'm glad it went full brutal.
Full brutal.
It definitely fit the film, the ending that they went with. But Jason, I want to hear your impression of the ending.
Yes, you do want to hear that. I was hoping that she would just spend enough time and you know, let go of the ghost, and she'd get better and grow up to have her own little happy family, maybe move to the States.
So you didn't like the ending?
No, it was way too dark for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ending, I thought, definitely could have been a little less confusing, and I don't mean that in the sense of her dying and that. I just mean the way that they come about that was bizarre, because they're setting the action of the scene up as if she's pushing him in a wheelchair towards like a
Right.
4-lane highway.
And then they stop right there.
And then she lets go of the wheelchair, and then the next scene is her dead in the middle of the road.
Well, the next scene is something hitting the car. From inside the car, you see it.
Something from
And you're-
inside the car.
I'm sure
yeah.
you're meant to believe it's the kid in the wheelchair.
Right, so
But then when it shows her in the road, it took me a second. I was like, is that the kid? I can't tell.
right. So then you're meant to assume that she walked into the road, but the way
I guess
that they,
just stepped to the side and jumped.
yeah,
She leapt.
the way
Yeah.
that they pan out, like up with her laying in the center, made it look like she had leapt off of something, which is why I was super confused.
Well, they were in a raised position above the road.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they
They
were.
were.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like about a
Okay, so the whole thing was confusing. The whole
Sort of like a
action of
retaining
the
wall.
scene.
Yeah, it was. She was up on the dirt they were on came up to the wall, and then the road was down here. So she not really far above the road, but
Far enough.
Right.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to jump off of it.
Right. The scene I definitely liked more than the ending was the scene where Riley wakes up and when his sister's giving him a shower in the hospital and just immediately starts trying to kill himself. That was so freaking brutal and cool.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, that was great.
I appreciated that they didn't try to do that thing where in a lot of movies, like say that exact scene, but then the mom comes in and blames her for it.
Oh, God.
That's in so many movies, and it's like
Yeah.
so obviously not what happened and how
Right,
people,
right.
I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Mm-hmm.
The mom's a bitch, but not an irrational one.
Clever bitch. I'll give her that.
So what would you say the main theme of the film was? Yeah, she was clever.
Except her kids were too smart.
I mean, they really weren't having a party.
True.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because there's themes in the movie, but I don't know if I could pick a specific theme.
Really?
Yeah. If you had to, what would you say it was?
I would say it was an exploration of grief. Mm-hmm. She's dealing with, she's lost her mother, she's estranged from her father, and she finds this one thing, and all the bad decisions she makes, for the most part, that she's either trying to get a high to get away from that pain, or then she thinks that she's communicating with her mother.
And that's what drives Riley into his position, is that she forces him to go over the 90-second limit.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then also, I thought it was interesting that, so Riley has a support system and family, and he gets better. And she doesn't, because she doesn't have those things.
Well, counterpoint, my takeaway, building off that, but also kind of counter to it, is that this is what happens when nobody has a dad.
Here we go.
If you notice Mia, whose dad tries to help her and reach out, she does wants nothing to do with him because he reminds her of her mom, and so she just shuts him out completely.
Doesn't even believe him when he tells her the truth.
Right. Multiple times throughout the movie, on multiple different people's cell phones, they will get a call from their dad and ignore it. It happens like 3
I thought
times.
it was her every time.
I think one time, isn't it Jade? I'm not sure.
Perhaps.
Maybe it's
Wait,
all her.
Did Jade have a dad?
Yes, and then there's another scene where their dad, who's divorced, clearly not explained, but estranged in some way, calls because Riley's in the hospital, and the mom gets immediately really aggravated about
remember
it
that.
and storms
Yep,
off to answer
yep,
the phone.
yep.
So it's like this looming background theme of everyone either hates or like has a bad father relationship.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a very elusive theme too.
So, love your dads.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, no, that's funny. I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's a very good point. Yeah. A lot of weird, like...
So I would say family
anti-dad
grief,
sentiment.
kind
Yeah,
of.
sure. Yeah.
An exploration of like
Which actually,
familial grief from a young person's perspective, probably.
one of the producers worked on the Babadook. Which is
Okay.
another exploration of grief.
Yeah, very true, very true. I would say this was more like dad-based, and that was more mom-based, so that makes sense. I mean, I guess other than the mom being the dead relative. But if you follow what Jack's saying, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, a lot of neat themes in this movie. As far as like the stuff with kind of youth pulling away, unattached, surrounded by everything in modern society.
They did a really good job with presenting the hand and the ritual as like a drug. Like they're watching the other kids do it. It looks really crazy and interesting, but also really scary.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and they did a really good job of giving you that same feeling.
So another thing you do if you don't have good family connections.
Is you do
Drugs.
the drugs.
Yep. You know who I was confused about?
Why the guy was embarrassed about making out with the dog? Because he used to do it. With your whole chest just
Nope, never
getting in
questioned
there.
that.
What the hell is even that?
One thing I was confused about was, I think his name was Daniel.
Yep.
The guy who's always in like the red sweater.
Boyfriend.
Yep.
Were they trying to give like an undertone of like he might be homosexual? Because he never touches his girlfriend. He like blames it on religion, that he doesn't want to have any kind of.
And then the demon gets him and is like, when you touch him, it makes him soft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he might have been gay, but I don't think it was like central to.
I thought he was just actually Christian, like Jade
Yeah.
said he
and then
was.
I also
then why
thought
would
maybe he just didn't like Jade
And the
because he
demon-
seemed
well,
into Mia.
Yeah.
I think the demons read into people of what they were afraid to hear, and so she was afraid to hear that he didn't like her like that, and that she didn't arouse him. So the demon said that, but it could be true. It could be reading his thoughts and iterating them.
Well, he also doesn't touch her, so.
What? Leave space for Jesus.
Yeah.
In your butt. As you do.
We got three.
Ratings.
No.
Yes.
This film is banned in Kuwait.
Really? Why?
Yes. For featuring a transgender actor.
I thought she was non-binary.
Yeah,
Is
if
there
you're
a
non-binary, you're
difference?
transgender.
Oh. You learn something new every day.
And what I thought was really important to note is that they also announced that they were banning the Barbie movie
For
in Kuwait.
Not the Kenergy.
Exactly. I thought it would be enough.
what's the reason for that one? Female empowerment?
Maybe.
themes?
Maybe. I don't know. I thought it was about empowering everyone. The Barbie movie was awesome.
So are you saying we should move to Kuwait?
You would think that. And they've completed principal
that's not
photography
where
on a
we were
sequel.
Oh,
prequel.
Talk to Me Too.
Prequel. I thought it had a different name.
Talk to Me?
Nope. You'll be going to speak with me.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I plan to speak with you soon at some point.
All right, ratings.
Well, let's start down there, Josh. Give us your big.
Okay, my rating of this film, I'd say a solid 7. I liked it. The practical effects thing dragged it down for me because every time there was going to be a ghost on screen, I was waiting for this kick-ass, cool-looking practical ghost, and then it was another old person or slimy person, and I was just like, oh, come on. But the story was good enough. It kept me engaged. I thought it was a great take on, realistic take on youth. And yeah, I'd recommend it.
Those damn youths with their bombed hands. Such realism. I give it a 7.4. It gave me the shivers and the heebie-jeebies in the beginning, and I enjoyed that. I liked it. I liked the first half more than the last half. I thought that the concept itself was really cool, and I would like to see it explored more.
And Talk to Me?
No, that would be a sequel.
Talked to me would mean that you had already talked.
There's no such word as talked, by the way.
Well, I'm inventing it.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and I hope they expand the cinematic universe. No, I think one other movie or two maybe that explores where this hand, maybe the guy, was he a wizard or what do you call him?
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
Yes, the wizard.
That was Jack's take on They had a wizard hand. Was that not what happened?
All right, guys.
Sophie Wilde and Joe Baird were dope. Keep it up.
Yeah, with that one, you know,
And good job,
I would
Rocka
go see
Rocka
the
Brothers.
movie. Go see The Wizard. It's good.